Old surgical tech goes missing after a night out with friends. Her body is later found in the dump. The mystery of what happened and who did it remains today. This is Hold My Sweet Tea. Hello, I'm Pearl.
And I'm Holly. It is so hot outside.
Louisiana is cooking its people.
It is like the devil's butthole outside.
Ew.
There's a vision for you. It's humid and sticky and gross. Like you walk outside, it's hard to breathe out there. Really is.
Yeah.
And we're used to it. We've lived here like most of our lives. But transitioning from like winter to spring and then into this nasty weather, it gets you every time. Like as soon as you hit it, it's like
into this people gumbo.
Right. Like it is so nasty and I can't wait till it's over and I'm ready for fall. I'm ready for Halloween. Yeah. And as soon as July 4th is over, it is officially Halloween season. I don't care what anybody says.
It's Happy 4th of July. Wake up the next morning. Happy
This
Halloween.
is Halloween. This is Halloween. 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 Yes.
Oh my goodness. It's the nightmare way before Christmas.
Exactly. It's a nightmare of me sweating while I'm out going, do they have Halloween stuff out yet?
I need to feel better about my humidity.
Right, exactly. Your boobies.
That's right. Way better than humidity.
But, I have a feeling that this fall is going to be hot.
Yeah.
It makes me sad.
I was going to say, we always have that like super long, weird heat wave. And then we'll have like 2 days where it's like, oh, this is so nice.
And you break out your flannels and your boots and you're like, yeah. Yes. And then humidity again.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it stays until January.
Yeah. You're like, just kidding. But here's some snow.
Yeah. By the way, here's some snow. Oh, and 2 days after that, and it's all melted, it's 96 degrees outside again.
I think the heat index today was 104 the last time I looked at it. So, and it's not even summer yet.
Yeah. It's not officially.
Officially still spring. But anyways, all sweat aside, what are we talking about today?
We're going to talk about Ashley Brown. Ashley Brown was used to being in high-pressure situations. She was in charge of anticipating needs and assisting surgeons by setting up the OR, ensuring that it was all sterile, and passing instruments during procedures. So she's got a high-stakes job.
Yeah, and I mean, that's stressful right there, because one wrong thing and, could be
you
somebody's
pass the
life.
wrong instrument and be like, the doctor's like,
screaming at you.
You just wasted seconds of this person's life. Yeah, for sure. Her father, Trevor Brown, would tell Dateline how Ashley loved her job. He said she was good at talking people through things to make them feel more comfortable, which I like. You know, especially in healthcare professions, you really look to those people when you're in that moment and you're like scared out of your mind that you're not going to wake up from your anesthesia. It's nice to have someone calm you and
calm you down, talk you through it. Like, it's gonna, I've done this a bunch of times.
Yeah. So in July 2016, Ashley had actually moved to Nashville, Tennessee. She had worked as a travel surgical technician and had been working in Georgia, South Carolina, Alabama, and even California.
Wow. She was everywhere, yeah.
Yeah, she was all over the place. She had been living in Nashville for 6 months when a coworker invited her out with a group of friends. So, of course, she's like, heck yeah, I want to go.
Let's go.
So, they were going to go look at Christmas lights and then go for drinks. You know, a little innocent, fun night in December.
I used to love doing that when I was a kid. That was like the highlight of Christmas, going to look at Christmas lights.
Girl, I took my dogs to look at Christmas lights this year. I was like, you want to go see lights? You want to go see lights? And then they're looking out the window like,
what am I looking at here?
What is this?
Why are they different colors?
Well, they can't see color.
I know. They're just like, a little bit brighter than the other one.
Yeah, why is that one brighter than that one? Yeah. So my dogs were actually more interested in the kids that were selling hot chocolate on the side of the road. So we pull over in front of this house that's really pretty done. And I tell the children, I said, I will buy Cocoa, but you have to pet my dogs because they're losing their minds. They want some pets.
Can we get a pup cup?
Right.
And some pettants.
Right. I felt like it was a totally fair trade.
Yes.
So, this was Friday, December 16th, 2016. And for Ashley, it was a very typical Friday. Ashley's mother, Julie Brown, told Dateline about what she knew of that Friday night. She explained that Ashley had gone out with the group of friends, and then she had gone back to an apartment to hang out. This apartment was in the Park Central building near Centennial Park. The friend Ashley was hanging out with at the apartment told Julie that around 3:30 in the morning, Ashley had gone outside, they say that she was going to smoke. She said that Ashley left behind her purse, keys, and wallet, so it was odd when she never came back in.
Right.
She didn't even call anyone for the remainder of the weekend.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. And Julie had explained this was very odd behavior for her daughter. She said that Ashley would check in with her every day. She said we'd talk about nothing and everything. Julie was also a nurse and typically worked nights. So she said that they would talk when she was on her way home and Ashley would be just starting her day. Julie said it was always her favorite part of the day.
Yeah, to get to catch up and
talk
about anything that happened that day or, just a little small talk. Or like you said, or nothing at all.
Nothing at all. Just, hey, some shop talk maybe.
Yeah.
Both being working in hospitals, just, that kind of stuff. I know I will call my pretend adults and talk about absolutely nothing, especially my son.
Mm-hmm.
That fool will call me and I'll be like, hey. He's like, hi. And that's exactly what you hear.
He just wants to hear your voice. Yep.
Nothing but the air.
Yep.
And then I'll hear him talk to someone else and I'm like, you on the phone with me? Or are you talking to
somebody else? Right.
Like, what you doing?
Mine calls to tell me that he's bored.
Oh my goodness.
I'm bored. And I'm like, find something to do.
You're like, I wish I was bored.
I know. I want to be bored.
What is bored?
I'll trade with you.
Right. So hours turned into days as concern continued to grow. Ashley's family and friends were posting her picture all over their social media and even created a Help Find Ashley Brown Facebook page that is still active. I'll make sure to share the link in the show notes.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants to check it out. Pictures of Ashley would be shared on the local and national news sites alongside pleas for information. 4 days after she had disappeared, and just one single day before her 28th birthday.
Oh no.
Her family got the dreaded call that would bring their worst nightmare to reality. Ashley's body was found at a Nashville trash disposal site on Freightliner Drive. a mere 5 miles from where she had last been seen alive.
Ugh.
It's the belief of law enforcement that her body was actually placed in a dumpster somewhere else.
Right.
Not a clue where else, but somewhere else. And then was picked up with that trash and brought to the facility.
Yeah, and then somebody just saw it and was like, there's a body out there.
Yeah.
I wonder how many times that occurs, though. You would think, like...
And that was my thoughts, too, when I was doing this. I'm like, I wonder how many times that actually happens. Mm-hmm. That, like, somebody throws a dead body in a dumpster or something of that nature. Just...
Because they don't go digging through the dumpster while they're dumping it. No, I mean,
they're just dumping it into the truck. And a lot of those are, like, dump overheads.
Yeah.
You know, so and then there's nothing to see in there that compacts the trash. Mm-hmm. And then the next time it's out is when it's emptied at the facility, like in this case. So, I mean, I would imagine it's got to happen a lot and probably not often enough, because I'm sure there are some bodies that are still in there that ain't never been seen.
No, they got buried with the other trash and nobody saw it.
Yeah.
And they're just down in there because they run over those things with like bulldozers and stuff. And
yeah, because they keep just like smashing it down, mixing it and smashing, mixing and smashing. Yeah. Oof. So her mother said that she was tossed like an afterthought, and she was anything but an afterthought. It would actually take 2 autopsies to rule her death a homicide, and the cause of death would be determined to be multiple blunt force injuries and strangulation. Detective Filter, he's actually who's still working the case currently, would describe her injuries as some of them being prior to death, and then some of them being caused by the garbage compactor along with the garbage truck and other heavy equipment used to move the garbage around.
Yeah, because they squash the garbage in the truck and then the equipment running. Oh, that's horrible. So it's like, how do they determine? I guess because after death they know.
Yeah, I think it looks different in the way that it. Yeah, so you can tell what happened while your blood was still pumping and what happened when it wasn't. Yeah. And Ashley was employed at St. Thomas Hospital, or St. Thomas West, in Nashville. And WSVM reported that this is the same hospital that 2 other people worked at that were murdered within a 4-year span.
Oh, wow.
So, Tiffany Ferguson was completing her residency at this hospital when she was murdered in her apartment in February of 2017. So not that long after Ashley's murder.
Was it blunt force trauma as well?
No. So she was 22 years old, and authorities don't believe any of these murders are actually related to one another. But it's just odd.
Yeah, that many.
This many in that span of time. So Tiffany Ferguson was actually said to have been murdered by Christopher McLawhorn, and it was believed to be a random act of violence. And this may be the only thing I feel like all these cases have in common, because this is a bunch of stuff that seems to be stranger on stranger type things. So Christopher confessed to a cellmate that he was checking for unlocked doors. And when he found Ferguson's was unlocked, he entered her apartment, grabbed a kitchen knife, and stabbed her to death in her bedroom.
Just for no reason.
For no reason.
I'm just going to open a door and kill somebody.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Just rando. Decided I'm stabbing somebody to death today, or I'm killing someone. No mode of whatever, because he didn't bring a weapon.
Right.
He just figured it out when he got in there. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's horrible. Lock your doors, please.
Yeah. Lock your door.
That's why as soon as I get in my car, I'm like.
Yeah, same. Especially like when I'm just out and about and alone.
Like they'll lock automatically as soon as I start rolling fast enough, but I do it as soon as I get in my car.
Yeah,
I hit that lock button.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm just like, nope, go on and lock these now.
Yep.
A third nurse from this same hospital, like I said, would be found murdered in her car in December 2020. Caitlin Marie Kaufman was 26 years old. She had actually been shot. And Kaufman's killer, Devonte Hill, was convicted of second-degree murder after confessing that he killed Kaufman while they were both on the Nashville Interstate Highway.
So another, like you said, random act of violence.
Yes. His friend, who was actually driving the car, was acquitted. Neither of these men knew Kaufman, so they did not know the girl at all.
Damn.
Devonte Hill stated that he was using drugs in the car that day when Kaufman, who was on her way to work, cut them off. He stated that his friend had hit the brakes suddenly and it startled him. He also says he remembered picking up the gun and firing shots, but couldn't remember how many he fired. It was reported that he actually fired 6 shots. Only one of them hit her, and it killed her.
Wow. That's insane.
Yeah. So it's just crazy, like, that these random things are happening, and it's all happening to
people that work at the hospital. Yeah.
Not just healthcare workers, but just that specific hospital, which is just nuts.
Yeah.
Like, crazy coincidence? I don't know.
And she supposedly just went outside to smoke a cigarette. And then all of a sudden...
And she's gone. Yep.
Dang.
Which is why they think it's another stranger on stranger incident. Yeah. Like, they're believing that it's got to be random. They don't... But I'm just like, don't move to Nashville, y'all. Especially if you don't work at that hospital.
Don't work at that Don't work at that hospital.
Because something up right there. I don't understand that. I mean, these are different guys that did different things, but it's just like, golly, 3 nurses in 4 years.
Or carry one of those defense things where it looks like a cat, but you put your fingers through it, and then you just, like, stab people.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, in Ashley's case, maybe that would have been helpful.
Yeah.
But in the other two,
no, not at all, because those were, like, so sudden and quick.
Inside her apartment thinking she's fine. Probably just didn't even realize she didn't lock the door, sadly. And in comes crazy guy.
Grabs a knife and stabs her.
And then you've got, I'm the other one shot in her car. Mm-hmm. So,
dang.
For sure didn't see that coming. Road rage is ridiculous. I mean, he had drug-induced road rage, but just road rage in general.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it runs rampant around here.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even like going out on the road anymore.
No.
I'm like, I'm just going to go where I have to go.
And, like, it's amazing to me, like, just how rude people are about not wanting to let you in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was driving long distances for a while. I had, like, worked in Port Allen and would be driving all the way to Mississippi, and I was going to get on the bridge, and this man was just, like, not letting me merge. He would not let me in. And now, mind you, when I drive that, like, super long distances, state to state,
mm-hmm.
I do bring Pew Pew with me.
Right.
And the one that I had at that point was really shiny.
Very chromey.
Yeah. Chicken Voldemort. Thanks for the... I don't know.
Right.
Like this whole shiny, sparkly unicorn of a Pew Pew. But I'm like, it was just sitting on my seat because I'm like, I don't hide it. It was sitting there, and I guess the sun hit it just right, and this man was in a jacked up truck.
Right.
So I know, I'm like, go ahead, little wiener. Somebody else will let me in.
I think tattoo every time I see one. I'm
it's fine.
Tiny
but
wiener.
I guess the sun hit that and he saw it and was like waving me in. I'm like, oh. So, thanks. I wouldn't do that.
Right. No,
but
not at all.
Thanks. Like, it's literally not there for that.
But I think it's like people nowadays, they're in such a hurry to get places, or, you're out, you're driving, you're tired and everything, and they just take it as like a fence that you want to merge in. It's like, I have to merge in.
Yeah.
I can't drive on the side of the road.
Exactly. Like if our positions were reversed, I'd have to let you in too.
Either let me merge or like slow down or go faster. Like do something.
Yeah,
Don't just stay right beside me.
Exactly. Learn how to zipper merge, folks.
That's the worst.
The most aggravating thing in traffic is when people just cannot get the concept. Like, traffic would remain flowing if you could just learn how to zipper merge.
To zipper your pants.
I mean, it is just like zippering your pants. Right. And everything goes smoothly. Nothing's in the way if you just do it right.
Unless you're a dude and you go commando.
Ouch.
Ow.
So enough about zipper merging and road rage.
We got way off topic.
All this craziness. Ashley's father would express how they know they can't get their daughter back, but much like these other murders, they just really want to get this dangerous person off the streets.
A why?
Yeah. And a why.
A why, yeah.
But, I mean, do you really get a why when you're like, I was on drugs and I just shot her because I got scared? Or, I just felt like hurting somebody today.
Yeah.
Like, that, I don't think that's consoling at all or helpful in the least bit.
But it's like, what did she do? She didn't do anything, and you just picked her randomly.
Yep.
That's so sad.
Yep. So in July of 2020, WKRN spoke with Matthew Filter, the detective on the still active investigation that I talked about earlier. And he said, we do have some leads we're following up on. We do have some physical evidence we're working with. But that's kind of it. Like, there's no more details about anything.
It just kind of drops off.
There's no information about what could have happened. Like, her mom is like, I hate to even consider what the last 5 minutes of her life was like.
Yeah. No witnesses, nothing.
Yeah. And, she's like, she says, I want to know the how, I want to know the why.
Right.
I feel like that's a normal human curiosity, but I don't feel like you gain any satisfaction from that either.
No, but it's like always in the back of your head about like, why my daughter? Why, like, how?
Yeah.
But you're still going to be sad and you're still going to be angry and all of those feelings, but.
Yeah. But for me, I feel like if they could just figure out the who.
Yeah.
That would be
satisfactory.
A major help. A step in the right direction. Because right now, this person's out there thinking they got away with it. Yeah. And then, like, have they done that again? Because they got away with it?
Possibly.
It's just like shoplifting. Yeah. You steal it once and you go, shoot, I don't have to ever pay for that again. Like, silly, but that's how they think.
Yeah. That's how serial killers think, for sure.
Oh, absolutely. So Ashley is fondly remembered as being super intelligent, caring, and she had a wry sense of humor. She would quote Edgar Allan Poe and tell the most sarcastic jokes. She followed that YOLO philosophy, so she's like out there living her best life.
That's good. Though, I mean, she did live life and she traveled a lot too. Mm-hmm. But it's just sad that her life was cut so short.
Yeah, and I'm sure working in a hospital setting really like reminds you on the daily that every day could be your last.
Yeah.
So, tell them you love them. Don't be chicken.
Voldemort.
Say what you gotta say.
That's right.
Because you may not be here to say it tomorrow.
Every day. Like, tell him you love him.
Tell him you hate him.
Yeah.
Get it
Anything.
out.
You're like, you know what really grinds my gears?
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Everything.
Everything. All of it.
My job.
So anyone with information about Ashley Brown is asked to call Crime Stoppers at 615-742-7463. Or you can submit an anonymous message at www.nashvillecrimestoppers, with an S at the end, .com. And yeah. Hopefully, I don't see any more articles about their employees dying.
Right.
Because dang.
But maybe, you've got a follow-up on another one of your stories. So maybe this one,
I was like, how
you'll
lucky
get a follow-up.
is that?
I know.
So that'll probably happen next week, as long as everything finishes out this, like at the beginning of the week. I'll probably work on it.
Yeah. And, do a little update and
yep, because court is happening.
Yep.
So
justice is being served.
Yes. On a platter.
Silver platter.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we've got, we did the Chandra May update, which that one will have another update again, I'm sure, at some point here. Once they get rolling with all that fun stuff. I know, like, bond was denied.
Right.
So that's great. But, as soon as court stuff happens, we'll let that process roll out, and then I'll do another one. But yeah. So Chandra May, Brittany Robinson, 2 updatable episodes.
I keep looking at mine, seeing if there's any updates on any that I did, but
yeah,
nothing so far.
I know. Well, the weird thing is like I have an alert set for Brittany Robinson, but I noticed like that episode was getting a lot of play. And I was like, what's happening? So I Googled and Googled and Googled and looked every stinking where. And I literally had to dig to the deepest depths of the internet. And then I was like, oh. And I happened to see that there was jury selection and then this and that. And so I was like, Alabama people must be listening.
Yeah.
Because it's literally just the local news that's talking about it. Okay. Like, there really isn't a lot elsewhere. So I readjusted how I alert.
Yeah.
And hopefully I don't miss anything. So
good.
Yeah, as soon as it's done, I will bring it to ya.
Nice.
So all theme music was by Patty Salzetta.
Patty?
Yes, the Patty. And then, as always, I'm going to tell you to share the link to this episode.
Do it.
With all your friends, especially if they live in Tennessee. Anywhere near that hospital.
Yes. Make them aware.
Like, listen to this. Because, girl, ain't nobody safe.
Nope. Not at all. Not at all.
And if you have anything you want us to talk about, or if you just want to talk to us, you can email us at steeped@holdmysweettea.com, or you can message us on the social medias.
Yes, and do all the things that Pearl always says, because,
I'm a boss.
That's right. And Hold My Sweet Tea, as always, is a Drunken Bee production. Bzz. And you guys remember to stay safe out there. And just because we're dipping doesn't mean you can't keep sipping. Bye.
Bye. Lock your doors.